Thank you.
You are talking about celebrating somebody who's one of a kind human being, Nelson Mandela, celebrating International Nelson Mandela Day. That's what he's talking about. And he's going there, and there's not 1 ounce of joy and celebration breathing through his pores. None of it. Doesn't matter that he speaks of his mother, Princess Diana. Doesn't matter that he speaks of his wife. Doesn't matter he talks about his children. Doesn't matter he talks about the fact that Nelson Mandela, no matter his sacrifices and his life consequences for what he believed in, imprisonment for almost 3 decades, he still had hope. He still had hope for the future. He still had hope for humanity. I'm just in shock. I understand now why people were being so critical everywhere about his speech, because it's just not fair. Like I said before, an actor is going to be taken off of the stage or told to stop on the stage and ask the question, have you prepared before you came to the stage? I'm talking from personal experience at the Actor Studio. During my 20 years of membership, I've been on my face so many times. I've been stopped so many times by moderators during the sessions who said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Have you done the work? Because if you haven't, then you should. If as an actor, you have to take on more responsibility to raise up to the character, to do the work so you can raise up to the character rather than bring the character to you, to your monotone self in the way that you don't believe in anything right now. And everything is just a sad monologue that you did, and you're upset because you don't have an audience, and your wife is going to be upset that there weren't more people there to see her enter. If that's what it's about, then it's not about something bigger than you. And what Mandela was about something bigger than himself, which you just said. So you're saying everything, but you're not living any of it. Oh, thank you so much. This is episode 52 of Hey Stella podcast. Hope, there's hope, joy, celebration. Analysis on what would help him do a better job as a public speaker.
And thank you to the Nelson Mandela Foundation for inviting me to speak on this day of all days. It is an honor to join you all on.
He says in the first introduction, in the beginning introduction, how he's very grateful to be there, and he should be. I mean, it's such an honorable thing for him to be invited to speak to such a great event. So I don't understand why he's not going on and saying, hello, we are so grateful to be part of this extraordinary event, and we could not be more humbled to be invited. That's how he should have done it. And I know there's some people on some other channels, and they're talking about how come Meghan, who's there, how come Meghan, who's an actress, is not helping him with public speaking? She's not an actress who understands the acting work. Therefore, she doesn't know how to help him because she herself doesn't get it. She doesn't know the process of the actor. She doesn't know the tools of the actor, which will then help with public speaking. Another thing that he does throughout, watch, lips. And this is such a mannerism that so many people have. If you watch them on television, the muscles around the mouth, we use most of the time because we speak more than we do not speak. It takes for you to go, I went there. I'm going to stop doing it. Capiche?
I speak to you today with humility, mindful of how much the man they loved means to so many.
If you're speaking with humility, then I think that you should have prepared. You should have hired a coach. You should have prepared. He's having this tension in his elbow. I don't know if the body language guy on YouTube was able to observe that. I don't think he did. So I'm just telling you guys from an analysis that comes from moi, an acting coach. The tension, if not released around the mouth, will creep in different parts of the body, and you will do strange things. He's so sad in the way that he is giving the speech that if an actor would do the same thing, you would stop that actor and you would say, dude, Harry, stop playing what you think as a sad speech. Nelson Mandela, which you speak about, no matter what he had to go through, which none of us can even pretend to understand, at his greatness and his courage to be able to fight for what's right, to sacrifice his life, 30 almost years in jail. After being in prison for so many years, he came with hope. That man had hope. That's what makes a man great. The fact that no matter how much he sacrifices, he never loses hope. Why are you losing hope? All you have to do is give a speech, because you are not engaging. You have to engage yourself moment to moment to moment of the speech. You have to allow yourself to experience, using your senses, that which is what you are speaking about. You're saying that you're grateful, you're humble to have been asked to be here. Why don't you show that in the beginning? You're playing what in your mind you think it's supposed to be a sad, very sad speech, because you want to be taken seriously. Seriously doesn't mean sad. People don't like sad. They have to be kept guessing to what you're going to say. So imagine your mother, the beautiful Princess Diana. I want you to recall the picture that you are talking about right now. Imagine the picture to be in front of you, Prince Harry, and that will take you away. It will take your mind away from the fact that there's not enough people listening to you. Take it from your heart, take it and place it. Imagine it, visualize that picture of Princess Diana in front of you with the great man, Nelson Mandela. So when you talk about your mom, there's this beautiful smile that should take over your essence, your being, because you are paying tribute to your mom at the same time that you're paying tribute to Nelson Mandela. So if you ever come across my podcast or my YouTube channel, hopefully at some point I will get some people to go there and watch Mihaela Mihut, The Art of Experiencing. These would be so helpful for you to use.
My wife and I had the honor of...
My wife, Meghan is right here. Is she in the audience or is she not? Don't be afraid. My wife, Meghan, and I. Meghan is wild about you and you're wild about Meghan, and you're holding hands, grasping onto each other. Oh, we love each other so much. We love each other so much. Even that, there's something wrong with that, because there's so much tension in the way that you're holding hands. But you seem to want us to believe that you are in love. Wonderful. Your family. Cherish your family. Be excited by it, Harry.
Was the joy on my mother's face. The playfulness, cheekiness even. The pure delight to be in communion with another soul so committed to serving humanity.
You're talking about your mom and you're describing her with so many wonderful adjectives. Those adjectives, joy, hope, chickiness. What's chickiness? A little bit of playfulness. Isn't that what it is? Do a little bit of playfulness when you're talking about your beautiful mother. Chickiness. There's a little bit of chickiness. And then the sense of humor is going to come in, and you're going to wake up those few 5 or 10 people in the audience, or however few there are. You're going to wake them up. They're not going to be falling asleep listening to you, because you're going to surprise them. If you are going to put yourself in the moment of visualizing your mom and all these beautiful adjectives that you just attributed to her, the other people are going to relate to that, because they feel those expressions in their lives at some point. So your humanity is going to come through because you're describing your mother's humanity. And then you go on to describe the great man, Nelson Mandela. Here we go.
And then I looked at Mandela. Here was a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders, asked to heal his country from the wreckage of its past and transform it for the future. A man who had endured the very worst of humanity, vicious racism and state-sponsored brutality. A man who had lost 27 years with his children and family that he would never get back. 27 years.
I know, but what you did, Harry, by the time you got to this moment is so grave because you're talking about the sacrifices that this extraordinary man made for his country. But because you have played all of the other moments the same way, with the same sadness, it took away from this important description that you just gave. You did not earn to get to this part of the speech. I don't understand why even these people, whomever they are, who invited you to speak, would allow you to give such a speech. You're not even trying to prepare for something like this. Anybody would have given anything to be invited, to be able to speak the words by this man that you're celebrating today at this event. And you're not enthusiastic to be able to have the grace, knowing that you are able to give voice to those words. That should make you so happy. Oh, this would not have stood in an actor's work. He would have been thrown off the stage at the actor's studio. He would have been stopped. There would be a conversation about, are you prepared? If you're not prepared, don't come on this sacred stage. That actor would have been asked questions by whoever the moderator would have been that day for session. And there would have been a conversation about, did you do any preparation? Because you need to have the responsibility that you talk about, Harry, the responsibility that you talk about in the words of Mr. Mandela. I'm telling you, at the actor studio, I was stopped so many times. So I speak from my own experience. When I was doing something that wasn't even worthy of the stage, I was stopped. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I've seen you do this before so many times. So if you're doing something that's within your comfort zone, you're being challenged to do more. This is as an actor. You're responsible for the character. So imagine the responsibility that you have when you're going to an event such as this, to give a speech in honor of such a man. Hari, 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 Hari Krishna.
It has been almost a decade now since Mandela's own walk on this earth finally reached its end. But what he taught us again and again is that it was never his walk alone. It was all of ours. It is all of ours. And what a beautiful gift, especially as a dad of 2 young children myself. The message that this world is meant to be shared. That the work of each generation is tied to those who came before and those who will come after us. That we have an obligation to give as much, if not more, than we take. And never shudder in the face of darkness. For hope is the fuel that courage requires.
Oh, you're talking about hope again and courage. You're talking about being the father of 2 beautiful children. Don't you have any joy in that? What makes you happy, Harry? The world is meant to be shared. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why you should share commercial flight. You shouldn't take private flights. Follow in what you are quoting of Nelson Mandela. That's all I'm saying. And you're doing none of that. Your face has been completely neutral the whole time. You are playing the end of a scene from the very beginning. You might as well stayed backstage. If you come in and you're playing the end of a scene as an actor, don't come on stage. Please don't. Stay backstage and let somebody else have the opportunity, as there are so many actors out there who would give anything to have an opportunity to bring it. Let them do it. Release it. Release it.